Hello friends, today I am testing two products from Sephora. The first is this color switch by Vera. I grabbed this quite a while ago in a haul, so you may have seen this. Sorry this has taken so long, but I'm finally going to be testing this out. This product lets you switch colors using the same eyeshadow brush, so if you're using one orange color and you want to switch to white or something, you can rub your brush on this, get all of the color out, and then go into the new color. The second product I am testing out today is the Sephora Line Up Makeup Tape. And so this is meant to help you get straight lines in your makeup. So I'll be using this to make sure my eyeshadow stays in the right place on my eyes. And we're gonna see if this actually makes a nice, clean, straight line. I'm gonna start by just testing some swatches using this color switcher. I'm just curious to see how much product it can remove, what colors I can switch between, etc. So I'm gonna zoom you in and we're just gonna do a bunch of swatches on my hand. I'm going to be using this palette by Viseart to test this because I feel like it has a pretty big range of color and it'll be really easy to see what colors are sort of lingering behind. So I'm gonna put that to the side and I'm going to start with this very fluffy brush. I'm going to start this by going with a light shade going into a darker shade because I feel like that is when this will perform pretty well. If it can't really do this, then it can't do anything else. So I'm just going in with the lightest shade in that palette, which is an orange, and I've got some product coming off, and there's still quite a bit on the brush. So let's grab this sponge. Oh, it actually comes off into the sponge. You can see that the eyeshadow is coming off. So just looking at this brush with the naked eye after rubbing all the eyeshadow off, you really can't see anything left. I'm not seeing any residue on this. When I go on my plain hand, nothing's coming off. So if I grab a dark red, we're not gonna see any orange at all. Very cool. After all of that rubbing, there is a tiny bit of residue now in the very, very bottom of these bristles, but nothing's coming off on my hand straight away. Just to test this out, we're gonna go back to the orange and we're gonna make sure there's no red in there. Yeah, those orange swatches look exactly the same. This one's darker because I put more eyeshadow on the brush. This one, I'm not seeing any red mixed in, so far so good. Now we're gonna go into much more of a test here. I'm gonna start mixing different types of colors. So let me just really quickly wipe off this orange. It's tough to see how gentle or not gentle I'm being on this. The sponge is a very rough sponge, it feels very rough and you can probably hear the noise I'm making with it. And so I'm trying not to press too much and just let the brush sort of glide over it, but because it's squishy, I'm finding that I am pressing quite a bit. I have deeply coated this brush with some purple eyeshadow, so I'm gonna wipe off maybe half of it so that the brush still looks very purple. And then I'm gonna do a quick swipe in here, and now I'm gonna grab a very different color. I think I'm gonna grab green. We should be able to see if there's any purple left over in here. Really doesn't look like the colors got mixed. So I'm gonna do one more quick swipe in this thing. And now I'm gonna grab some blue. And that's looking like there's no green in it. So far this is working out pretty well. Now that I've used this brush a few times, I'm noticing that it does really look dirty now and no amount of rubbing in the color switcher gets rid of it. However, it's coming out completely clean. And I was using a dried up makeup wipe to show that this was when I had eyeshadow on it and wiped it off, and then right above it is where I was rubbing it after I'd put it on the color switcher and nothing is showing up. So I think that this thing really does work, but it's obviously not foolproof. If I just scooped up a bunch of eyeshadow and tried to rub it in there and then go to the next color, obviously there's a higher chance of some being left behind, but if you use it correctly and you try and use as much eyeshadow on either your hand or your skin, wherever you're putting your eyeshadow, as much as possible before using the color switcher, then it will definitely work out for you. What I'm not sure about though is over time if there's a way to like clean the sponge. I didn't look for any instructions on it. It does say that it can be washed. It doesn't say how to wash it, so I think that's really the only sort of danger, is because it's black, you really can't see how much product is on there. You can get little vague glimpses at some colors, but knowing when to wash it's kind of just going to happen when it stops working as well, which is a little bit frustrating. Okay, now we're going to move on to this tape. I'm going to actually read the instructions on this product. So it says this is a high quality medical grade tape, which I'm hoping means won't rip out my skin or eyelashes. It says has multiple uses for makeup, winged eye looks, precise nail art, that's cool, I didn't think of using this on my nails, and protecting against fallout. I'm not sure how this protects against fallout. Like, I don't think I could like put this on my cheekbones. I feel like maybe it's just you can use the sticky side to pick up any fallout. Not totally sure where they're going with that. It says to simply tear tape to desired length, remove paper backing, and apply to skin. Tape can be repositioned up to 2 times. So 2 times and you have to get a new strip. Remove after use and discard. Well, yeah, probably. Hypoallergenic, breathable, and easy to remove. Basically, this just sort of replaces the Scotch tape if you use regular old clear tape to make sure your eye looks stay where they're supposed to be. But if this is better for my skin than using regular old tape, I might actually continue to spend a couple extra dollars on this because it can be very uncomfortable wearing that tape because it's like plasticky and a little bit stickier. I'm back and feeling a little bit like a human billboard because the tape actually says Sephora collection all the way around. So that's a little bit awkward. But generally, I was surprised at how easy it is to tear a piece off of this. Like, I thought that would be an issue, but really you just tear it and then there's your little strip. The only thing that was a little tricky was finding a good place to pull the paper back. For this, for example, right here, I've left a little bit of an edge by accident because I did not rip very precisely, but this would make it easy to pull the tape back and put it wherever you want. But when the paper is very flush with the edge of the tape, it's really hard to peel that paper back. I ended up kind of bending the strip a little bit until a little side came up and I could just stick my nail under there, but that's a little tricky. This tape is also really sticky. I'm surprised at how sticky it is considering it's supposedly better for your skin and, you know, not gonna rip my face off when I take it off. But, you know, I'm moving my hand around and it's staying on there, rubbing my hand, and it's like only rolling up on the bottom. So, oh, that made a noise when I took it off. This is pretty strong tape. I might still be inclined to put it on something and take it off once to remove some of the residue if you have sensitive skin. I'm just going full on today. I want to put this really to the test. I'm going to be using some black eyeshadow, so let's get into that. Before I jump in with the black, I'm just going to put a little taupe in my crease just to get us rolling here. Just to sort of vaguely test it out with this lighter shade, I was purposefully going into the tape and I do see some eyeshadow ended up on there. So I think so far it's pretty much doing what it's supposed to do. I don't think any of the tape has really peeled up because that's really my concern. If I'm buffing my brush over that spot, I really don't want the tape starting to fold up. So far so good. And before I go in with the black, I'm just gonna press this just to make sure that I am giving it the best chance to be successful. And it definitely feels like everything's laying flat. So now I am going to take that same dirty brush I was just using for my other colors. And now I'm just gonna like start patting some black on there. I'm so nervous. Okay, so I'm just blending this out a little, but I think that went pretty well. You might be able to see that there's once again, some eyeshadow that came off on the tape, and I did not a very great job applying it, so it's a little bit blotchy. I think that's the downside with using tape. I feel like your eyelid doesn't have as much give near the edges, so some of my eyeshadow just didn't go on super evenly. I have to spend a little more time blending than normal. Now I'm actually going to be using the color switcher here and there because my blending brush is getting black in it now. So this will be another good test to see if any black comes up. And it's looking like a very little bit amount of residues coming up, but it was definitely better than using my hand the whole time. So we'll call that a mild success. Okay, for the purposes of this video, that is blended enough. I am going to just quickly do the other side and we'll see if this side holds up as well. Alright, I don't know how well this is showing up on camera, but in person there is like one kind of narrow line between my eye and the tape where the color just looks a little bit lighter. I'm not sure if this is showing up, but there's like one line where I'm having a little bit of trouble getting all the way to the edge. But as for the tape itself, once again, you can probably see that I've gotten some eyeshadow on it and blending it hasn't started peeling it. So those are all good news. But I don't know why I can't get that little corner to match. I don't know. And I think the real test will be when we take the tape off, seeing if that line is still there, because it might just be like some weird lighting or reflection because of the tape. But now that this brush has black on it, I'm just going to use this color switcher again because I'm really trying to give this a good chance. And I just want to see how much residue comes off on my hand because I feel like the eyeshadow is getting really deep in there at this point. And yeah, again, not really. There's like, you know, a teeny bit of black, but black eyeshadow is the worst one for this kind of thing, so I'd say that's pretty good. It's definitely better than my hand or a towel, and it's nice to not have to like deep clean my brushes every single time. So I think that color switcher is doing okay. So let's see about this tape. It's feeling a little bit uncomfortable now. It's like a little bit closer to my corner of my eye on this side than this side, I think. So I'm a little nervous about the tape maybe irritating my skin a bit. And we'll see, I guess, when I peel it off, but let's see how clean the lines were. Oh my god, this won't come off. Ow. That hurts. Okay. Woo! It's looking like a nice and sharp line. I didn't go too high with the black, so it might be a little difficult to see, but there's definitely a very clear straight line here, so I think it really did its job there. But dang, that was really hard to pull off and kind of hurt. It was pulling my skin really hard, so I definitely think that you could get a little residue off of these before you use it, unless like you're using black. If you're using black, I would just suck it up. But for like day-to-day use or like using lighter colors, the glue on this is a little unnecessary. That was pretty painful. So now I'm just gonna have to like force myself to do the other one. Ow. Yeah, that second side was definitely closer to the corner of my eye. But once again, there is a pretty straight line, but yeah, that weird gap here is still showing up. So I think this takes a little bit of practice to make sure you're getting the right angle. I'm gonna finish up the rest of my makeup really quick, and then I'm gonna close this out. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, to sum up everything from this video, this color switch is pretty good. I'd say it's definitely better than using your hand or towel or paper towel between eyeshadow colors, but it is a few bucks, and if you'd rather not spend it, I don't think it's like totally necessary to have in your collection. But if you only have one or two brushes, it could be nice to have something like this to help you switch between colors without having to wash your brushes or muddle up all your eyeshadow. Now for the tape. I have kind of mixed feelings about this tape. The irritation went away pretty quickly. As I was applying the rest of my makeup, I noticed I didn't really feel it stinging anymore, so I definitely think this is a non-irritating adhesive, whatever is on here, but it still is very strong. I definitely struggled getting this off. I had to go really slowly and be very patient. So that is the same advice I would give to you if you use this product. I love that it's easy to rip off as much as you need. I like that you can choose how much you need. You don't have to rely on the product telling you what a strip is. And yeah, I mean, I like it. It was just a little painful to get off, but I do think it did the job. I had pretty straight lines, and I did try and fix up this side, but you can tell that I definitely laid this side better. That's just part of the learning curve with this. There's no guide. There's no way of really knowing how this works until you just start putting it on your face. So I hope that answers anything you would need to know about these products. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're looking for me, you can find me at any of the social media handles that are down in the description box, or as always, you can find me at brokeforbeauty.com. Thanks again for watching this video. Please like it and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.